Me making sure my kitchen looks presentable. Is it cute? I can't really tell. I have this little old 1940s kitchen, but here we go. Juice and chat. Today I wanted to juice up some pineapple apple ginger juice, which is like my go-to pretty much weekly. And also just kind of share what mindset shifts, kind of values of mine lately have helped me get out of feeling really stuck. So if you are stuck, if you are feeling like you're just kind of in a cycle right now, maybe I can help today. Maybe I can just add like 2% of help today. We got our Fuji apples. I say Fuji. Somebody told me you say it like Fiji though. We got ginger. We got 3 pineapples. And I need to get my strainer and my spoon and my knife and a big jar. All right, and a plastic bag. Let's get into it. So I know for me, even as of like literally yesterday, I was feeling super stuck. I was just like, man, I'm a failure at life. Like I'm working so hard and nothing's coming from it. So trust and believe that you are not the only one, first and foremost, but that's not even the first value that I want to share, or first mindset thing I want to share. I think the first thing I want to touch on, the first value of mine I want to share, is that I think in a world, hopefully this isn't too loud, I think in a world where it's so normalized to like numb out and like pacify your emotions, pacify your feelings. Like it is really courageous to like go into the feeling or go into the contrast. Like it's so easy to numb with food or drinking or smoking or whatever vices you choose. It's so easy to do that. Somebody's gonna comment below about the core of the apple being in here, and I'm gonna tell you I don't care. Doing the best I can. I'm on a time crunch while I'm filming this video. I didn't have time to chop up these apples. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. They are washed though. Anyway, I think someone that is able to know that they could easily do that, right? Like know that they could just like numb out, but instead like feel the contrast of whatever's presenting them in life, like whatever's going on. Feel that change and then decide like, man, I'm gonna lean into it, which is what actually really inspired the balance retreat I'm hosting April 11th, 12th, and 13th in Tampa. It's all about contrast, and in the last 2 years, getting into like specifically contrast therapy, obviously there's like a physical contrast you're feeling within that, but on like a spiritual level, it really, really highlighted how important contrast is. Like, I think personally I've tried to like avoid it in moments, like avoid conflict or avoid bad or avoid hard, but you really need it. Like you actually need it. It is the medicine. It literally is the thing that you have been craving. Although you're like trying to avoid it, it's honestly where you grow. I'm realizing that a lot in my life right now. It's just like contrast, differences are so necessary. So sometimes as scary as it is, I think I really admire those who are able to like see contrast or see something that feels hard, and instead of like numbing out, pacifying with any external vices, they're actually like leaning into it. So if you feel like you are that kind of person, I would love for you to be at this Tampa retreat because it is literally all about that. We're gonna be doing contrast therapy. We're gonna be doing a lot of contrast actual workshops where you get to experience, give and receive, protection, surrender, feminine, masculine, obviously inhale, exhale. We'll be doing breathwork. We're gonna be having bomb vegan food. We're gonna be intermittent fasting also. We're gonna be juicing. So you can feel all these different contrasts of like even empty and full when it comes to food. All that to say, I'm really, really excited about the Balance Retreat. If you live in Tampa or you just needed an excuse to travel in the spring, come hang out with me. It's a weekend. There's only 6 spots available. It'll be a very intimate vibe. This concept and the ideas I have for the actual like programming and workshops we'll be doing, things you'll receive while you're there, I'm like pumped about. I'll have that linked. You can go check that out. And speaking of that, second point to make here is that if you're feeling stuck right now in life, feeling overwhelmed, whatever you're feeling, sometimes you gotta stick to the plan and not your mood. And that one's easier said than done, but you're always so happy when you do it. Like literally yesterday, I was feeling it, Mr. Krabs. I was not in a good headspace, but I knew that I wanted to move my body. I told myself I'd move my body that day. I'm not gonna say hot yoga solved all my problems, but moving my body, like sticking to the plan felt really good. Like I felt like I built a trust with myself because I did it. And that in itself made me feel like at least 1% better than I did previously, you know? I could have easily been like, oh, I'm just having a rough day. Like, I don't want to do this. And sometimes you do need to honor that. I'm not here to say force yourself to do anything. Sometimes when you like push past, or not even push, but like accept that feeling and then stick to the plan. Like, okay, we're feeling that. That's true. But also we said we'd do this today, or we'd get this thing done, or whatever. And you'll find that that makes you, again, feel at least 1% better. I think most of it is like a mental game. Like you see it in your mind as this big mountain, and then you start walking and you're like, oh, it's a hill. Oh, especially with fasting. Like when I think about all the times I fast, even back in the day, those who've been around when I like went into extreme fast, I feel like it sounds crazy to other people, or it sounds crazy in your head at first, and you're like, oh my God, I don't really like doing this. And then by the time you like start it, you're like, or like by day 2, you're like, wow, okay. By day 3, you're like, oh, you know, like it's just you and you. I think my last like value I think of kind of ties back into the first one, right? There's like so many chances to numb and pacify. I guess within that, there's so many opportunities and things that are temptations, right? There's so many distractions, temptations, desires. Like so many of us live by the seat of our tongue, or our desires, or our cravings. I feel like if you really think about like removing a lot of those desires, or seeing where they come up in your life, you will kind of witness and realize how many times you kind of just like fall into your own cravings. And it's something about a person that can see the cravings, see the desire, want it so bad, but decide that their future self doesn't want that. That is so admirable to me. I aspire to be that kind of person, and I love to be surrounded by those kind of people. Like the muscle of discipline is just really attractive, just in general as a human. And so like over these last few years of teaching breathwork, of doing contrast therapy, of fasting, getting into this like more wellness thing, like I love creating spaces online and in person that don't feel like a chore. Like you get to actually enjoy the breathwork. You enjoy the juicing. Like I know so many people are like, oh, that cleanup process must suck. I'm like, man, put on a good song and it doesn't actually. Or like sip on the juice while you're juicing and you're like, oh, I love what I'm creating right now. Or have company with you that's also enjoying it, and it's even better. That is something I'm really, really realizing is a huge passion of mine, is curating spaces and experiences that like allow feeling good and self-improvement to be not only like approachable, but enjoyable. So again, I'm gonna shamelessly plug Balance, my breathwork retreat happening in Tampa this year. I would love to share this with a bunch of people who aspire in those same values, who really care about those same things, who are like feeling really stuck maybe in certain areas of life, or maybe overall really stuck, because I feel that too. And you're just like, man, I gotta change something up this year. Like we can't just keep doing what we've been doing. Like this is our year, it's time. That is who I'm looking to share that space with, because to me, that's just a fun time. Like let's have breath work, let's cry, let's laugh, let's dance, let's juice, let's eat, let's be outside, let's scream in a cold tank together. Like those are all my favorite things. And I just think it's so easy to come together and like eat, or overindulge in food, or smoke, or drink, or numb out on TV, or whatever, sex, like so many vices, right? And we're human, I'm human. It's not like I never indulged in my whole life. What? It is such a beautiful thing when you can feel yourself like growing in that area of life, and seeing yourself like become bigger than your desires. Like every time you have a craving, you're just gonna give into it. Like pause, like learn your own element of pause, your own seat of discipline, and your own ways of like becoming that version that you really want to be, you know? Because that's what I'm trying to do. I don't know about y'all, but I'm trying to become the woman I've always dreamed of. And that, I'm standing on that. I'll see y'all in Tampa, right? April 11th? Cool. I'm going to finish juicing this. I can't wait to sip on this. I'm about to take a sip right now, actually. Yes, Lord. I just want to thank God. Thanks for watching my little juicing chat. I'm going to finish up this juicing. You can chat it up in the comments. And let me know if you have any questions about balance. I'd love to see you there. Until next time, peace.